Hi guys, welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about ENTPs. So I've spent a lot of time thinking about ENTP, the personality as a whole, because for most of my MBTI life, I kind of thought I was one. So now realizing that I'm not, I have this special appreciation for their type. Like they're so cool. The ones that I've met, they have this quiet confidence thing going on. Like I've met and every one of the ones that I've met have this like it's just the quiet confidence about them, and you can't even ignore it. And even if it starts slipping into the area of sarcasm, not sarcasm, what is it? Cockiness. You're like, you're cocky, but like you have the right to be. It's kind of that thing. Um, they're so charismatic, and it's in such a nonchalant way that you can end up not realizing that this is a skill. Like they almost treat it like, okay, you're just here for the show. You're just here to enjoy my company. Are you having fun? Are you laughing? And you're like, yeah, I kind of am. They're very interesting people. Like they're fun loving, smart, energetic. Like sort of they sort of come off as ENFPs who actually seem smart. Like I think ENFPs we fall into this trap of seeming childlike, and people think we're childish or immature, um, and kind of underestimate us. But I think for ENTPs, people measure it appropriately, and sometimes probably over measure it, like overshoot the scale of how smart they think an ENTP is. So for ENFPs, if like they're at the exact same intelligence level, um, people will think that for an ENFP, that the intelligence is like right here when it's actually here. And for ENTPs, they'll think it's actually either here or they might actually measure it appropriately. So it's kind of that thing of like, okay, you're doing this thing well. Um, and then for ENFPs, I think, yeah, like honestly, we feel like we're always like stumbling into life and stumbling into charisma. It's kind of like this clumsy, cool thing, whereas ENTPs, it's more like just a cool thing, you know? It's more like, I don't know, that vibe. Who's that guy from Cowboy Bebop? That guy, just with a cigarette, chilling, and then he says something, bleh, 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 and then moves on with life. And it just is cool. ENFPs are like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's more of like, yeah, they reserve their energy, but still somehow come off as extremely energetic, which is wonderful, which is amazing. Um, so they have this, yeah, they're just so cool. They're so cool. And I think for them, NE is an actual, it's an actual tool. For us, it seems like it's compelled out of us, or from an ENFP point of view, I would say NE feels like it's more compelled out of you. Like you have to explore these things in a very non tangible way, unless you are very TE focused. But for them, it seems like they already have things awaiting, structuring, like awaiting their knowledge. Like, okay, for example, there was this guy in debate, and he's an extremely good debater. It just comes naturally to him. He's like he's the debater. So this guy, um, he was set against me, and I'm a terrible debater. I can barely talk, and I get really emotional. Not that emotional like that, but I can't take the points out of my head to my mouth, which is weird because I'm so talkative. But um, yeah, he's really good at organizing that. So when they put him head to head against me, like my disorganized brain was just like terrified. And he was like, "Oh, why didn't you attack this point from this point? Oh, there's a structure. You just go this. You ask like um, this question, and then you ask this question. If that person hasn't answered that question, then you attack the reason that they haven't answered that question, and you attack that they haven't set the parameters." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, you have all of that, or you made a system in your head about this whole thing, and you're basically picking apart everyone's arguments." And I'm like, I am definitely not an ENTP. I kind of do that. I don't I don't do that with people's words. I categorize things, but I don't think I'm very critical with things as much as he was. And for him it kind of seemed concrete. Like the way he was attacking it, it was almost like it was a physical entity in front of him. Of like, okay, if you don't have these components, almost like a chemical experiment, or like a, yeah, those science experiments. It was like, okay, if you don't have these components, then this reaction won't take place. For him, it's like, if this person hasn't formulated their argument in this way, then I can attack it appropriately. Like they don't have a defense for themselves. And it was really interesting just watching his mind go like that. Even though I lost, I was like, oh my god, I won some knowledge. But yeah, and with ENTPs, it's always been this weird dance between the two of like our types. It's always like kind of initially when ENTPs meet ENFPs, they really think we're annoying, and there's no need lying, there's no need, don't, we know, we know. You guys are not very good at hiding your feelings, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, we come off very annoying, and they kind of don't understand why we're so energetic and like, ah. And they're like, that person must be fake. I can smell the fake off of them. But as they get to know us and as they get to see our depth, you kind of see that wall or that like distrust of us coming down. It's like, you actually do have brain cells. And we're actually like, huh, you have a heart? I knew there was a heart in there. So it's kind of, it's a very interesting experience to watch and just live through, seeing an ENFP and ENTP start to get along or just live life. So yeah, that's my opinion. And when I've seen it in real life is like the only time that I've been convinced of like, okay, I'm not an ENTP, because I kept yo-yoing between that, because I'm an extremely analytical person. I'm not even gonna lie about that. But ENFPs are not idiots, or just because you're not high TE or high TI doesn't mean you're an idiot or that you don't think a lot. Or yeah, it's just a thing. It's just a thing. So yeah, as soon as I met most of them in real life, you can kind of see how different they are about, like they care more about, what is it, taking opportunities. I've seen this with this other guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're just satisfied with thinking about this," and I was like, "I shouldn't be." I shouldn't be like, yeah, I could probably do something practically with this. And each time, like, he would come up with something like that, or he would have more initiative than I would. But we were almost like exact twins, but he was more. You'll see it when you, as an ENFP, if you're an ENFP, if you meet an ENTP, you'll be like, this is like me on drugs. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun experience. You might not like each other immediately when you meet. That's another thing, because you guys have like different ways of trusting people. Um, but if you give it time and if you give it yourselves enough of an open mind, I think it could work out. Like friendly acquaintance, whatever you need to happen, it could work. And that's it for today, guys. Subscribe, like, if you've been here that long. Hi, hi, hi. I might get an Instagram for MBTI just to have fun memes and stuff. Um, and by MBTI, I mean MBTI, socionics, Enneagram, typology, like as a whole. So, yeah, bye.